everybody. This is actually kind of a last minute second take on this week. I found out that Goodreads is doing their annual poetry awards for 2015, and while I'm not technically nominated, I am, however, still an available option. There is a blank spot inside the Goodreads poll, and you can actually type up Storm Dancer, look it up, and vote. So if you are listening to this and you want to help me out and get me some recognition, go to goodreads.com, look into the awards, and there are a lot of other good books in there too being nominated and other things. Go through the list, and then when you get to poetry, look up Storm Dancer. And, type it in and go, hey, this book is 9 Kinds of Awesome. I don't know if I'd actually win. In fact, I probably won't win even with all that, but it's an honor to be nominated and it's recognition. So if you got yourself a spare minute, go to goodreads.com and go to and vote on the poetry. Say, hey, I'm in. And now we begin with Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Pantalleresco. This is my podcast. I write stuff. I podcast too. I've gotten 6 episodes in. This is the 7th one. And this week's guest, none other than my very own sister, Rae Hope Pantalleresco, who, by the way, rocks. She's currently doing a art show, which you can actually go to right now at the Lux Laundromat on 14th Street near 17th Avenue. I'll give you the address before we get to the guest, but there is over 130 pieces there. My sister did an amazing job of prepping for her stuff. Her theme's amazing. I love the theme. I'm going to go check it out Friday myself. I'm going to actually see everything she's done and did, and it's kind of a cool little homage to everything, to who she was and who she is. I've always been a big fan of my sister's art. To put this bluntly, I think because I'm her brother, she takes it for granted. I've seen her work against some very professional people, especially in her photography. And for me personally, she's at a very high level. Even though she may not fully understand what she's doing, the talent is just there, and it's always been there. And I've always believed that given the chance you see her stuff, you will like it. My sister is also a very likable person, and you have the right talent, you have the art, you have someone that's that's truly amazing. And I think much like almost all of us do at some level, we sell ourselves short on who we are and what we can be. And I look at her and I think, wow, she's got so many gifts, and you get to see a whole bunch of them this month at the Lux Laundromat. So I encourage you, Calgary, if you live in the city of Calgary, Alberta, to go take a look, walk down, look it in there, ignore all the wonderful people doing laundry, unless you see something really, really, really interesting. You never know. But besides that, you can just look up and above, and you'll see paintings, you'll see drawings, you'll see photography, you will see a lot of awesome work. And I really encourage you to do that. Alright, before we get to the interview, let's talk about my last couple weeks. I have been doing 2 shows at the last minute here. I did Pure Spec in Edmonton. It was a small show, but it was a good show. A lot of good people there. I got to meet some really hilarious people like G.W. Renshaw. I got to do some podcast interviews with some great talents. I'm hoping to get a hold of the one talent I didn't get the interview up there. I really wanted to. But yeah, it was a good experience. There's some really cool things and opportunities that I'm hoping to explore once this week kind of gets rolling. But Edmonton was a small but fun show. And I figured, okay, I do one show out of the blue. I'll settle in and start looking for an apartment, because that's what I'm doing this month as well, as I'm moving. And then I get table information for Winnipeg before I was confirmed for a table in Winnipeg, which was weird. And I asked about it on Saturday, and then Monday when I got back and I was tired in Concord, I suddenly saw that, holy crap, I'm doing another show. Or I could do another show. I had to make the stars align, pull some strings, and sell some magic cards, and next thing you know, bam! I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Current Facebook thing is me doing a pose with the Kiss Demons, or the Kiss Troop, based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Those guys were fun. I got to see some really cool costumes, and catch up with some really cool people. Johnny Cock, Collette Turner, who I interviewed up there, Chadwick Ginther. I got to meet Andrew Lawrence. I got to meet some of the crew there, and once also I got to reunite with my favorite soccer mom, Christine Steenham. She'll probably look, oh, why does he call me a soccer mom? But no, it was a really fun time. I had a really cool experience. I got to hang out with a medieval weapons company on Saturday night. They're really cool people. Dark Age Creations is phenomenal. They do some really good work. I'm probably going to be picking myself up a bow somewhere down the line. All in all, like the last 2 weeks have been good. I've been contemplating working more at my day job. And then after going through this, I just realized, no. There are things about, like I said, I'm at the point where I'm trying to get away from the day job. And, what all good artists do is when they think they can go on their own, I'm getting there bit by bit, and I'm doing well. I've been able to sell. It's been easier for me to sell books this year. It feels more and more like the right way to go. And this kind of was verified in the last 2 weeks. It's going to be a bit of a struggle when I get for the next few months when I get settling into the new place. But I think in the long run, being exactly where I am, doing what exactly I'm going to do, is going to be the right thing for me. And just so we're clear, I'm not criticizing my company that employs me in the day job. They have the right schedule, and most of the management I've dealt with have been very gracious. And I'll say it here, thank you very much for the opportunities I've been provided. I truly am grateful. It's just, for me, it has always been the dream to be on my own, and I'm slowly but surely getting there. Let's see, am I anything else? Oh yeah, I'm on Instagram right now. Instagram it kind of reminds me as comic book writing a little bit, in the sense that you got a picture you take and you do a caption, and there's some fun things you can do with that. And I'm looking at maybe somewhere up the way doing an Instagram story. That'd be kind of neat. I think you could do it, and it'd be cool, fun, engaging, and kind of a blast to play around with. Let me think. Yeah, this is my 7th episode. I wasn't sure how I would do with this, but this has been a good learning experience for me for a lot of reasons. I realize that my speaking, my candor, I can improve it. I'm trying to talk a little louder because the last episode I think was a little too quiet. I'm cut back on the ums, although you'll still hear the odd one here and there. But yeah, like all in all, this has been a great lesson on teaching myself and talking and communicating, and I'm hoping that as each podcast goes on, we'll get better. Like I said, I'm stoked with everything that's kind of going on, and even though it's not quite all going the way I need it to go, or like it to go, I should say, even the negatives are positives. I sent my manuscript off to an agent, and she very nicely told me she couldn't take it. And again, she was very polite. She was very considerate to what I'm doing, and she made some really good suggestions, and it gives me something to shoot for next year. I think my ideas are awesome, but we all have our weaknesses, and for me, mine is getting my writing up to the level it really needs to go, I think, to do a good novel. Oh, and finally, like I said, I'm doing a lot of stuff in the last little bit here. So actually, I'm going to just do this real quick to conclude my thought. It was really a pleasure and an opportunity to talk and engage and take that chance with the agent. And I think it was a really good experience, and also, like I said, she was a lot of help. I just want to thank her here. I won't mention her by name just here at this moment because I don't think she wants a ton of submissions or things in the event that some writers are listening to this at this moment in time. But I appreciated it. It was really good, and I'm hoping that next year it'll be better. And finally, it's NaNoWriMo month, and I'm doing it a little differently this time around. I've been doing a lot more pen to paper with my writing. It feels more comfortable, and it's almost like I'm doing a first draft and then doing a second draft. And I've noticed it's been a big improvement with my poetry. Both The Watcher and Storm Dancer were done this way. So I'm going to be trying that with a novel, which means I'm not going to be updating my NaNoWriMo except on weekends, probably on, I'm thinking Sunday. I came up with an idea of a steampunk Christmas story, and that's going to be my novel for the month. And yeah, I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing exactly where that goes. I don't know if I'm going to get to 50,000 or not. That's my goal. It would be to be near that, enough that I can actually pitch it to somebody and be like, okay, this is going to be cool. But we'll see. Like, I'm not holding my breath. Yeah, jeez. That's a lot. Alright, now, I guess we're going to move on. She is my sister, ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Pantalleresco.
So, anyway, I'm going to have who's over here, because last time we were talking about doing the interview. She's just right now. She was joking on the interview that she did that she was stealing my fried chicken, so she would have given the opportunity. So, so my food is over here, my fries are over here. Now, I know at some point my fries will be shared, because she is my sister. She is super talented in her own right. So, I prefer professionally Rachel or Rae?
I don't care, I just hate being called Rach.
Rach? Okay, so, don't call her Rach. She will punch you. It's okay. No, because I'm into that, but so how you doing?
Good.
Good? Alright. So, you got your show coming up.
Sure do.
Sure do. So, now, by the time this airs, right, everybody's going to be anyone that attends the show. So what did you decide to pick this time?
So last year I picked a theme that was, obvious, which was nautical. This year I wanted to kind of honor my artistic process. So what I did was I dug up, pictures and photographs, that I had started, within the last few years, but maybe ones that I didn't know how to finish, and I just chose to finish them. So on the walls, there will be stuff that I started maybe 5 years ago, stuff that I started 6 months ago, and stuff that I made specifically for the show.
So, now I'm going to ask you a question. What's your favorite?
It depends, because I have... for sure I have paintings and photographs up on the wall, so if you want to separate it by medium, that might be easier. I do for sure have a painting. It's a little one. I think it's like no bigger than 5 by 7 maybe. Maybe it's a bit bigger than that. And it's abstract, and it's dark purple, white, and black. And there's some tiny little delicate flowers painted on it. It's probably one of my favorites.
That's cool. So there's no photography this time around?
Yeah.
So, why the decision to do photography? Just decided to plan it out there, or?
Photography has, I think my passions have always lied in, drawing and photography. And last year I didn't really add any because I didn't really have any nautical stuff, and I really wanted to stick with that theme. So this year, since the theme was my whole artistic process, it'd be kind of silly not to include photography.
I agree. Like I said, I am personally though, I think your photography has always been my favorite of your stuff. Like I said, I do comic book stuff, so I do storytelling stuff all the time. The thing I love about almost every single one of your photographs is they tell a story.
Cool.
Right? It's actually, most of the time, they make me laugh. You don't take, since you're usually the subject matter of the photography, you don't take yourself too seriously. But that all said, I've said this to you prior, I'll say it here, a lot of people would kill to have your eye for telling a story. I remember when I was in college taking photography, and I remember
Is that before or after you lost the camera?
We'll go, actually both.
Okay.
Both and so, yes, folks, I lost a Konica. So, if you know what
an SLR camera.
Yeah, an SLR camera. And it was one of the best of its makes. I had a moment, and it was...
It might have been one of our dad's favorite cameras. No big deal, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Especially since the moment I left and the bus was gone, I realized I was still on the bus, and I tried to get to it, I couldn't. So, another story. But the biggest thing he told me was, the hardest thing to do with photography is to convey what's going on in action. Now, granted, this was from a journalistic point of view, but the fact is you do that really, really well, and I've always admired that about you. Sometimes with your paintings, and this is because I haven't met, I don't always get the full meanings of them, and we'll talk about that a little bit more too as the evening progresses. But with your photography, your clarity has always impressed me.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. So since we are some photography bench, what is your preferred photography? Do you prefer black and white?
Oh, black and white, hands down. Always. Always has been. Although, funny, I don't really have any black and white photos that are going in the show. I think I only have a couple from when I was in Veal Art in high school. But yeah, hands down, I think in black and white. It's way easier for my brain.
Yeah, I just now, like I said, I just didn't know, do you like what you show with photography or what you don't show?
Well, that's a good question. I haven't thought about it. My gut instinct would be what I show, in the sense that whenever I take a picture, I tend to take pictures like the ones that you would first think about. So like, the straight on and maybe off to the side. And then I try to think of different perspectives to view the same thing. So on that wavelength, I guess, it would be what I show.
Okay, cool. So this is all unfinished works. So is this going to be your last show?
I don't think so. Jarrett actually insisted that I did this show. Because I wasn't really planning on it this year because I have lots of other stuff on the go, and I was hoping to really focus on a website this year. But no, I enjoy doing them. They're fun. They're a lot of work, but they're a lot of fun.
That's good. So you don't have any art or anything like that at this point?
Sorry?
No gaming art or anything like that at this point?
No, I still just have a Facebook page. Again, it was either work on an art show or work on a website.
I actually just realized that I've asked you this.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Just sort of like, just for simplicity's sake, use WordPress or DeviantArt. You don't have to do an actual lot of building, right, for the web page, and you can still just make it clean.
There's other web pages I was looking at, though.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
WordPress, I do have a WordPress account, not for my art, but I do have one. There's some technicalities I have to look into first before I can actually have one of those kind of websites.
No, I know. I'm looking at upgrading my WordPress myself. Because I don't have my audio actually on my WordPress site.
Oh, okay.
But you have to actually pay it, but it makes no sense for me to pay right this minute because I'm moving.
Right.
So, until I'm moved in and settled in, that's not something I'm worried about at this moment. So, right now, if anyone's wondering, that's why the podcast and the WordPress site are still separate, not together, but that will eventually change. Let's see here. I'm going to ask a random question, and then we're going to continue to your stories, because I've been learning this for a long time. You have a pirate hat. Just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, you're currently in my sister's apartment. Now, her apartment is a really cool place for a lot of reasons. Among them is she's got all kinds of paraphernalia around her. She's got a foam finger up there.
Jägermeister foam finger.
That's right. So there you go. And she's got Roe, which is a pink...
Bacon beer.
Bacon beer?
Bacon-flavored beer. Don't ever get it. It's gross.
Okay, so...
But the bottle's cool.
The bottle is awesome.
It's the color of Pepto-Bismol.
Yes. Which doesn't make me think of bacon, but that's another story there. She's got mushrooms from the Mushroom Kingdom, and then she's got currently like a pirate hat.
Mickey Ears pirate hat?
Mickey Ears pirate, yes. So, you got this really cool ambiance going on there. There's a lot more I could point out up there. She's got, like, a picture of Jesus up there. There is...
He is a pink velvet Jesus that acts like a magic 8-ball, so you can ask him a yes or no question, and he will answer you. But he doesn't answer you like normal 8-balls do. He will answer you such as, the holy water will burn, or let me go ask my dad. He's quite handy to have around.
Nice.
Big decisions. I consult.
So you
consult with Jesus.
What'd you ask? What did you ask him?
I consult.
You consult him?
Yeah.
So you go, hey, Jesus, what we're going to do, and I don't see that. What's your usual answer?
Oh, I haven't consulted him in a while. Apparently, I feel confident in my life decisions.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You've grown up. No.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, yes. This is a girl that up until 10 minutes ago was wearing a cow pajama.
A cow onesie.
A cow onesie.
With the udder right over top of my crotch.
Which goes and tells you exactly when you come to as adults. Right?
Not very high.
No. I don't know. You know, now that I'm an adult, I actually just think that, as a general rule of thumb, we don't ever really grow up.
No, we're just better at hiding our childish ways.
I just think we just understand, like, what I've taken growing up to actually make you guys responsibilities for what you gotta do. And
Then I'll never grow up.
yeah.
Jesus.
No, I just like that's the difference.
We're just kids with more experience. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Would you like a ride?
Oh, well, if you insist.
So she goes into my bag. I got my fries in there, and I don't put my hand on.
You can have your burger,
Yeah.
but there's fries at the bottom of the bag.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you don't know how many I've grabbed, and it's a wiser decision on my behalf.
Oh, see.
But I will wait until we're done talking, so I don't have chewing going in your podcast.
That's okay. You can chew more. It's all good. I'm a professional or something for that. But. So, like I said, are you still mad that I lied my bio? Quote unquote, lied my bio.
You did. You lied to your public. It's very rude.
So, if you read the bios during the episode, I talk about how I almost always crush my sister.
No, he said always crushed his sister.
Yeah.
That is not true.
Yes, I may have embellished it a little bit, and because, the other thing about my sister that I truly love is how she loses when she does lose.
I'm a graceful loser. I see nothing wrong with the way I lose.
And now, with one exception, whenever I find a score where I actually defeat her.
That's not true.
No, there's only one. I only have one. If you have them, I don't got them.
That.
The one, the big one where we actually did a little comic book store, I still got that one.
Okay.
But that's it. I don't
that
know.
You won or that I won?
That I won.
Right, because I always win.
Yeah.
Right.
See, this one is. Now that'll set.
But I have to give him 1 or 2 games, because otherwise he loses interest. Because why would you play with someone that you always lose to?
It's right.
It's just not good. So I let him win every once in a while, because I'm a generous soul, but...
Yes, so generous. The last time I really won,
the card swore for me. It was amazing.
No, it wasn't swore.
The card swore?
The card swore.
Yeah.
The card swore. I did some things, like when I really won, the last time I really played, the one game where I beat her, she didn't even have a positive point. Right? She gets to a certain point, and it's almost like...
So here's my theory in life. My theory in life is that he plays rummy in his dreams. Because I don't remember this game. I'm pretty sure he's full of it.
Of course I am.
His eyes are brown, so it's appropriate.
My eyes are brown, it's true. However, I still remember the shoulders kind of tensing up, and I just remember it got to the point where she was ready to throw down the card. And to be fair, considering how many times I picked up, I picked up 2, and there's that. Now, that'll set the absolute last time we played cards. I will have to admit, she kicked my butt in the crib, although that one game was so close.
You know what? Close doesn't matter. You can lose by 1, you can lose by 20. However, if you lose by too much, you get skunked, and even more, you get double skunked, and that's just embarrassing.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. So, my sister is a secret coach. No, that's not. That's not So you do this. You day job as a flight attendant.
Yep.
That's your day job. See yourself doing that long term at this point, or do you see that kind of going a more part time direction as time goes on?
I am part time.
You are part time.
I am part time there, and I yeah, like I love my job. I love everything that I do in life right now. Being a flight attendant, I mean, the perks are obvious. You get to travel. You get to, I'm a people person, like hands down. If you're standing beside me, doesn't matter where, I'll probably start talking to you just because that's who I am. Unless I'm having a introvert kind of day, which happens. So basically it's like a win-win situation. I'm with people and I get to travel.
But it's not the coolest job she has. She's another part-time job that is really cool.
Yeah, so I also lead instructions at a paint and sip studio where you basically go and you drink some wine and you do a painting while potentially tipsy, intoxicated, or sober, completely up to you. I prefer to call the alcohol most people's liquid courage. Things you don't necessarily do sober, you'll do intoxicated, and a lot of people find a blank canvas pretty intimidating. Put some wine in them, they're good to go.
So, do you have a favorite class? Fun stories with it? I guess that you can actually share to them.
Yeah, I guess one of my favorite things, like, so we do some corporate parties, as especially around Christmas times, things of that nature, or team building. And one of our corporate parties was for a group of accountants. And I was, kind of opposite thinking, very, I mean, you don't normally consider accountants someone who would go and sit in front of a canvas and paint a painting. So I was super excited, actually, to teach them. And I put my microphone on, and I, turn around just to make sure my canvases are all set up, and I'm, half introducing myself to the group and waiting for them to settle, and I turn around to fully do an introduction and introduce what we're doing for the day. And I look in the back, and the owner of the accounting firm has a blue mustache painted right across his face, full handlebars and everything. And I just stopped, and it's like, you were my favorite person, hands down, that I'll ever have here. We did the class. They did really well. I was super proud of them. And at the end of that class, that handlebar, blue mustache accountant came up to me, and he's like, I've, for my whole entire life, have wanted to try painting, and I've never did it for whatever reason. This was my first time painting, so thank you very much for leading me through this process.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super humbling for sure.
Well, no, it really is. Sounds like you're a good teacher. So I should come down and paint myself with a shoe mustache. That.
Yeah, it would be copying, but that's fine. If that's
fine.
what you want to do.
Yeah, or maybe just put something else on the face and go with it. So, when do you generally paint that? Is it simple stuff, or is it? I can't remember. I don't know my reference to this.
They're all pre-designed, and you can pick them out via the website. So they're not necessarily paintings that I've designed personally. Basically, they just kind of are like, hey, you're teaching on this day, so, get to know the painting. Tomorrow I get to teach Le Chat Noir, which I'm super excited about. So, yeah, they are definitely geared towards people who have never painted before. It's pretty rare, almost, I can't think of an example, as someone who walked out of the studio, at least when I was teaching, that did not leave with a painting that did not resemble what we were starting with, unless they chose to do something different, which is always highly encouraged as well.
Nice. All right, let's see. There's anything else that we can talk about for what's going on in life at the moment.
The actual art show that I'm doing?
I was kind of yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. No.
That's kind of going on in my life.
No, it is kind of going on in my life.
My cold is kind of going on in my life. If you wanted to talk about my cold, it'd be great. Makes me sound like a man. Thank you. That's actually more, I was saying that for reassurance than more than anything else.
No. First off, you gotta talk deeper.
I haven't gone through puberty yet.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. You gotta talk deeper. You gotta be a little bit more angry and aggressive, and then you'll sound and you'll sound like, a man.
All we really had to do then was just do this podcast while I was driving. I definitely would get angry pretty quick.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I'm
Road rage?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say road rage exactly. You haven't quite hit dad's level of road rage.
No, actually, I've calmed down.
Yeah.
I used to get really angry. Now I just expect that when I get to a four-way stop, that nobody knows how to use the four-way stop, and yeah, and it's okay.
You sound like me in my day job.
Well, I don't drive for a day job, so...
No, I don't either. Yeah, I still... my day job right now, they do a lot of work with drivers and operators, and I'm not going to say the job does not have less pressures, because it obviously does, but there are, I mean, I'm not here to bribe me anybody, but there are sometimes that, like, I'm sort of taking stuff out, and, you know, I have to work around them at all times, and it's an interesting, like, you can tell who's really comfortable behind the wheel and who's not.
Right.
Really, really easily. And then there's one guy in particular who's really got up because he just doesn't care. And that's kind of terrifying. But that's, yeah, it's what you gotta get in day job. So let's see what's on my page. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, let's talk about music.
Okay.
Talk about what you like to listen to. Because you have a very large collection. It's almost like me with comics. Is you with music.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's the stuff that's on my CD player that's all the stuff that I need to work through that I haven't necessarily listened all the way through, or that's all my new stuff.
Yeah.
I have a problem. There's at least 30 CDs on my CD player right now. I tend to buy a lot of my CDs either used or on Amazon. I like buying stuff on Amazon because then you have something to look forward to in the mail. Because nobody sends snail mail anymore. However, if someone wants a pen pal, I would totally be up for that, because I love having pen pals.
If you want to put the address down at the end of this.
I don't want my address on.
No, it's fine.
We can start with email, start slow.
Okay,
kind of like a date. You have to first go on a coffee. Something casual, but something that you can, like, get rid of really fast if you need to. And then you can work on to something more serious, like, here's my address, send me stuff.
Yeah. No, that's fair. So me right now, I'm listening to Diane Birch. You ever listen to her?
Nope.
Folksy piano, love it.
Okay.
Great to write to. My favorite song of hers is Superstars. I finally got. I feel like I rediscovered Leona Lewis, which is sad. I know it's pop, but it's what I'm listening to right now.
Everyone has their guilty pleasures.
Yes, I know. We should talk about the car. So when my grandmother's in town. Right?
Oh,
yes.
That's not a guilty pleasure. That's just me pushing buttons.
Yes. So, one car trip, I remember this. I still remember it. It's Barbie Girl. Oh, you're gonna love this though. I was thinking about the car trip the other day, and I actually was singing it out of work. I actually put it in a beautiful site.
That's fantastic.
I was like, "Would you be proud of that?"
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Barbie Girl by Aqua and Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne. That one I haven't sung out yet.
Well, that's embarrassing too.
Yeah.
No, so here's the deal. Whenever my brother is in the car with me and he's stuck for a long period of time, I think it's funny to play, whenever I have an iPad that has 128 gigs of data. So there's lots of music on there, lots of guilty pleasures, and or just stuff that is good to sing along to. So yeah, our grandma was in town and we were going to the mountains, which is a good hour and a half away. So I made a very girly and very, high school, back in my day in high school, playlist. So yeah, it included Barbie Girl and Avril Lavigne and a lot of that good stuff. Although our grandma really liked the Barbie Girl song. She thought it was really cute. I don't think she fully understood its meaning. So we played that song specifically on repeat because that's what made her happy.
Yes, and she was singing.
Oh yeah. She totally was, and I don't think she understood what she was singing, but that's okay. Ignorance is bliss sometimes, and you just kind of gotta go with it.
I think the one thing I did pick up from her, like the one thing I did pick up is that it's just a love. Like that's the one thing about her I admire. But she just sees things going one way. She's like, okay, whatever, let's just do it.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, so
she's pretty easy and pretty content. Yeah. I think she enjoys our company a lot, so she really didn't care. But I did end up making her a mixed CD of that playlist, and she told me for the longest time, before she went to bed at night, she would listen to Barbie Girl. I was like, oh, and you're still not catching what it means. That's cute.
Or she's really
No, I'm pretty sure she didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's every once in a while I have conversations with her and I'm like, oh, you totally missed that. Okay, we'll just go with that. I'm also really easygoing and can just go with the flow if I need to.
Yeah, well, I think that's where we got it from. Things. But let's see. What else? What else is really good right now? I hate Halsey Bad Ones is actually really good. I was throwing up top of my head. It's a new one. It just came out this year. It was a podcast with Brenda Mike from England. She recommended this album to me. She swore by it. So I was like, okay, fine. Just because it's here, that's $10. So $10 play. 18 songs. They're all really, really good.
Can I just throw this out there? Whenever I have good music, I share it with you. You have good music, and you're like, that's fine.
Well, no, it's actually, I'll tell you what I am working on for work. I'm like, we'll do this next time I am here. I'm actually putting a playlist on my phone.
Right.
So I'm actually all stuff generally I'm listening to, and I'll make sure that you get that.
See, he does share if I subtly hint that he needs to.
It's nice. So, there we go. We got a little talk about it. Oh, by the way, I don't even know this. You're still my most popular thing on my website.
Oh, you're making me blush.
No, it's true. My publisher thinks you're awesome. I'm terrified of you and your publisher meeting together because I don't think this is the same ever.
It's my hometown.
That's right. But I mean, no. But besides that, no. They everybody I've talked to about you or seen you is that your sister sounds awesome. It's like
Because I am awesome.
you are.
So excited that people are actually getting to know this fact.
Actually, it's usually the first thing.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, it's actually the first thing. So there you go. All right. So we had a pretty good conversation. So if people were to find you online, where can they find you?
Right now, the only place that you can find me would be on Facebook. So facebook.com/Rae, R-A-E, Hope, as in the word hope, art. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And your art show is at the Lux Laundromat Gallery.
Sure is.
Okay, so, and you're going to be there personally on what day?
November 27th. It's the Friday night. I believe we're going to start the open house around 9 o'clock at night. It is a functioning laundromat, so we tend to pick a night that is a little bit slower. Obviously, people are out on Friday nights doing other things other than cleaning their underwear. So, I picked that day.
That's cool.
Yeah, very fun.
So, there you go. Did you got anything else coming into next year? At this moment?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Like, this actually was pretty on the... I think in June I was hanging out at the laundromat, because it's the place that I went to, and Jarrett just found out that I like to paint, so he invited me to hang some of my stuff up. He's a very kind soul. It's a great place to check out, actually, at any time, because he always has, like, every month he rotates a different artist. So he offered me a spot last year, and it was actually a lot of fun and really interesting perspective for me. Before last year, I never really thought about selling my art. I just did it because it's actually my preferred form of communication over talking. I actually, it's interesting. If I paint, I can tell you what's going on in my life better than if I try to talk first. So. Oh, for sure. So, yeah. So, Lux Laundromat is the only plan right now. Basically, Jarrett came up to me in June, and he was like, pick a month. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to give myself a decent enough time to put on a good show, I'm going to pick November, because then I have lots of time to plan. So that is what I did. And 33 pictures, and I think somewhere around 50 paintings. Granted, some of them are 4x6. Later, I'm ready to go. Yeah, and I'm going to grab, some of my friends are storing some of my paintings from, well, all my paintings from last year, so I might grab a couple of those as well, because that is still technically a part of my art history, I guess, my own personal art history.
Actually, it'd be kind of cool, because it's also a milestone. Can I see how far you come?
Well, I guess so, but you have to remember that a lot of my paintings I started before.
Yeah, no, but it's, I don't know, I just, like I said, one way I took me at the show, just the last time, it's almost like, my Meta used to, when I was growing up, run the wall, grow up at every inches that are growing. I didn't need to go to our show. This is just anything. 16, 17?
No, I was 18.
You were 18. So should be 18-year-old can pick up.
17 to 18.
Yeah.
To 32.
18-year-old bears won't be there. 26-year-old is going to be there. I don't know how to say how old she is.
32, I don't care.
There you go. 32-year-old.
33 in January, no big deal.
Send her money.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
In that case, we'll put the address on the website.
Yeah, okay. So, no, it's all the different views.
Well, that was my intent with this one. And the reason why I wanted to do that is, as you know, and I'm totally candid about talking about it, is I haven't always had the best self-esteem, especially when it came to my art. I haven't necessarily always honored my process in getting from, where I was as a child, coloring with crayons in coloring books, to now, because it's all part of the process, right? Even if I don't have those anymore, or they're nowhere near what my style is anymore, it's still part of my process. It still is what introduced me to loving creativity. So I really wanted to do that because I felt like it was important.
And that was my sister. She is definitely one of a kind. If you get a chance, see her show this month at the Lux Laundromat. Her night is November 27th, I believe. I will check this before this podcast airs. And like I said, it's an awesome show. It's an awesome person, and I really think you should get down there and support her somehow, some way. This month, the city of Calgary, you will be impressed beyond belief, and I guarantee you, one of the best you'll ever see, and I mean that. So, beyond that, I want to say a couple things before I go, because I'm truly believer in supporting the local arts. Right now, I got a couple of my friends in mind. I've done movies in the past, and I've been working with some really cool people, and they're doing a couple of them. Nick Hayward, Jenny McDonald. They're launching a pitch video currently. It's called Wolf Hands, and it's available. You can be voted at on Story Hive. You can go on Story Hive right now and give them a vote. And that's what I'm doing right now. Actually, literally as I'm speaking. Like I said, Wolf Hands, I trust the group. Nick Hayward is an amazing filmmaker. Jamie McDonald is amazing when it comes to makeup in front of the scenes, but she's also an amazing performer in her own right. And Nick Hayward himself is also really good in front of the camera. So there's a lot of people that are putting a lot of work into this, and I'm hoping you give them a chance. So go to www.storyhive.com/project/show/ID/847. Or, if you don't want to go through that and boring mind-numbing numbers again, you can go and check them out. Hold on here, I'm looking for this. You just go to storyhive.com, and under digital shorts, you can just vote for them that way. Just look up digital shorts, find Wolf Hands, you can vote for them as we speak. And that was my thing, dinging for Facebook. Yay, Facebook. Or FaceCrack. But anyhow, like I said, there's a lot of cool things going on right now. And one of the amazing things doing this podcast is you become aware of a lot of things around you, and you just realize how big and awesome the world is out there. And on a personal note, I'm happy to see that all my friends or all my people I've been blessed to work with are still doing awesome things even now. It inspires me to get off my own ass and do them. Alright, that'll do it for another episode of Just Joshing. My name is Joshua Pantalleresco, and I'm telling you to stay inspired out there.
Josh.